Breaking news, Steve Ballmer, who paid that record-shattering $2 billion for the Los Angeles Clippers, receiving word that he is stepping down from the board at Microsoft. My colleague Trish Regan, the anchor of Street Smart, is joining me here in studio. Trish, you spoke to Mr. Ballmer yesterday.
Yeah, I actually just got off the phone with him about 3 minutes ago to talk about, I'll tell you, and we'll talk about this as well in a moment. He did sound as though he had a lot on his plate yesterday when we spoke, but just now, as this news came out, he and I spoke on the phone, and he said to me, look, Trish, I want to be a great shareholder, and I want to pay appropriate attention to my shares, but between teaching classes and my new responsibilities at the Clippers and my civic duties, it's a lot. He went on to say, though, I love Microsoft. So he stressed that he still cares about the company. He wants to be a great shareholder, but the time commitment involved in being a member of the board right now, just a little bit too much given everything else he's got going on.
And when you spoke to him yesterday, he talked about his role at Microsoft.
He sure did. We talked a lot about his leadership at Microsoft, and I got his thoughts on current leadership, Satya Nadella, at Microsoft. And as I said, Mark, you know, he alluded to yesterday the possibility that he might step down from the board. So this wasn't a huge surprise when I saw this cross today.
All right, let's take a listen to what Trish and Mr. Ballmer spoke about yesterday.
When you think about what you're going to be doing over the next 12, 24 months, and you're still there at Microsoft on the board, you've got this project now in front of you. How are you going to divide your time between everything?
Well, I retired so I could have a next phase of life, and I'm feeling a little strapped right now on time, actually. So yeah, I'll have to kind of wrestle that through a little bit. I have other things I also am interested in. You know, I sort of think of myself as having I want to have more time for myself. That includes more time to study. I'm going to teach a class this fall at a business school, more time for sports and golf and all that kind of thing. But then on top of that, you know, I want to be a great Microsoft shareholder. I want to be a great Clipper owner. And I'm trying to figure out how to evolve my civic contribution, my wife and I. My wife's been really active in particularly child welfare issues and some education issues in the state of Washington. But we're asking ourselves the question, you know, what else? Don't know yet. Nothing to say, but it actually takes some energy to figure that out.
You've got a lot on your plate. Do you think then that you'll stay on the board at Microsoft for the foreseeable future?
I'm on the board today, and I'm excited to be here as a board member.
Okay, he said, I'm on the board today. I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was 24 hours ago, right? So again, Steve Ballmer leaving his position on the board of Microsoft.
Trish, I have to ask you, because you did ask him about Mr. Nadella and about those layoffs, and he kind of hedged a little bit. He said, new CEO, this is his decision.
Yeah, he said this is 100% Satya Nadella. I think we have a clip of that as well we can share.
I want the Clippers to be the very best the Clippers can be. The best team, the best players, the best character, the best coaching staff, the best business, the best. You know, I want all of that for the Clippers, and that just means we're going to have to be, as I like to say, hardcore about working to be better, tenacious, more and more excellent. The Clipper fans are very, very excited and fired up group.
Mm-hmm. And a loyal group to the team.
Absolutely a loyal group, no question. Clipper fans have, you know, they seem almost conscious. We chose the Clippers, and that's really kind of a fun, exciting thing.
And they feel like you chose them?
No, I don't know about that. I think Clipper fans are glad to be, you know, able to focus back on the basketball.
Doc Rivers, he's been a big force holding this team together throughout this difficult time. What's going to happen to him? Is he going to stay on?
My job's to figure out what I can do to support Doc in that.
What is your leadership style, would you say, and how is that applicable to what you're going to do with this team?
Well, you know, I'm an enthusiastic, passionate, optimistic, I would say leader. I'm also a guy who asks a lot of questions. I won't say I micromanage, but I do ask a lot of questions. There's no question about that, because that's how you, in my opinion, push to be better. All those things work in a business. When I joined Microsoft, you know, we're 30 people and a couple million of revenue. When I left, we were 100,000, almost, you know, between 80 and 90 billion in revenue and the second, third most profitable company in the world. So I think that worked pretty well. Now the question is, do those same characteristics apply? Desire to be better, optimism, enthusiasm, passion. I think those same qualities probably work pretty well. But the first job is to get the right people in place, because I'm not the expert. And we got to have experts in place who can run all the various parts of the Clippers.
One of the challenges I imagine Doc had over the last couple months is recruiting players, because nobody knew what the future of this team actually was. Now that you're at the helm, now that there's a path of clarity, who would be sort of your top choices to bring in for players?
Well, there's no question that with stability comes opportunity, and Doc has been clear to me that having stability in the ownership base does make it easier for him to do a lot of things, including recruiting.
Okay, so you heard him talk a lot there about the Clippers and his intentions on how he's going to manage the Clippers. But as we were talking about earlier, he did talk at length about Microsoft, those layoffs, really pinning that on Satya Nadella, saying, he's the CEO of the company. He made those decisions, not the board. And he's taking the company in a direction that he thinks is really going to make it successful. I did ask him, what about, spinning off some parts of this really large company, Xbox, for example? And he said, well, you know what I did? Clearly, I'm not in favor of that. My work sort of speaks for itself in terms of keeping it all together. So, a lot of interesting parts of that interview, and we're going to be sharing that with viewers coming up on Street Smart at 3 p.m.
All right, Trish Regan. He told you he's sitting in the front row at these games.
Yes, he absolutely said, I'm courtside. You better believe it. And I'm looking forward to hearing him cheer.